It's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good afternoon, everybody, or evening, everybody, and welcome to the Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 1, our reaction podcast here on For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I am overly excited. Get that through your skulls, firstly. I am going to be a big firework of excitement and just my optimistic self today because, fuck me, we needed a win today, and come at the hour, come at the man, come at the men, I suppose, really, in Marcus Rashford and Asensio, pulling that one out of the fire. And Unai Emery at home wins 2-1 against Chelsea, gets that 3-pointer, that 6-pointer on it. And now, you know, we're looking upwards in this league again. I'm delighted today to be joined by Jay. Paddy is on the sauce somewhere in Limerick City. And you never know. I'm expecting him to message me going, send me on a link at some stage. And we might get him in if he does. But Jay, how are you doing after that? How's the heart rate?
yeah, mate, I'm good. Oh, what a win. Do you know what? I nearly lost my voice, I think, celebrating that second goal. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I got a telling off from the wife, but no, she celebrated as well. But no, do you know what? Superb. I thought it was going to end up being a draw. But when you've got players like Asensio and Rashford there, you know, it's just a different feeling, just a different level. And honestly, mate, just absolutely chuffed. Chelsea were just dirty. You know, the amount of times they left their foot in, they're a pretty physical-ish team, but yeah, just to get that win, get that 3 points, mate, I'm chuffed. I'm absolutely chuffed tonight.
And so I've spoken an awful lot this year about specifically the Bournemouth game. Definitely the lowest. I was as low as a snake's belly now after the Nottingham Forest game. And I thought that Nottingham Forest game was going to have such a detrimental mental effect on the team's,
That's really
mentality. You fast forward to now, and when you look at the Liverpool game, I suppose in a vacuum, down 1-0 against the champions elect and the champions of Europe elect, I suppose, as well, probably the best performing team in Europe at the moment. Liverpool come back, get 2-2. Okay, yes, we draw 2-2, but we were pushing at the end of that game. In this game again, we do our party trick. We concede after 9 minutes. Stupid goal. Well, I suppose Chelsea fans would say it's a lovely, well-worked goal. You know, we need to block those crosses. That's been an issue for us all year. Don't do it, and they go 1-up. But then we come back. And we got back into the game. We had a couple of more chances. Watkins has one that's brilliantly saved by Jorgensen. He has one that's brilliantly blocked by Cucurella. We had a can't even remember any of the chances, but we started to get back into it, and then we get the 2 goals in the second half. So from a morale point of view, and also the two guys, the two gentlemen that came in with great fanfare in the January transfer window.
Yeah,
the morale that and the boost that's going to bring to the team to think that, right, lads, as a team here now, we come back against Chelsea, we come back against Liverpool, and we have these two guys who can make stuff happen. We need to believe in ourselves a small bit more because we have it. Things can turn. They can turn on a sixpence. Seasons can turn on a sixpence, and we've got a tough run in. But results like that will stand to us. I'm sorry, I went on a bit of a soliloquy there, Jay. I'm very sorry, but yeah.
I honestly, I agree, mate. And like I say, I think having Asensio and Rashford, and not to forget Marlon as well, because Marlon, he came on. Watkins he ran his socks into the ground. You know, he was brilliant from a stretching the game, holding the ball up. I thought he did that really well. A couple of chances, keeper made a couple of okay saves, but like I say, I think Asensio, I thought he had a quiet game, if I'm totally honest, up until the goals. I didn't think he had a lot of the ball. I thought he did. I thought he was all right. He was solid. But to be honest, at half time, I was thinking that is arguably sort of the poorest I think we'd played for a little while. I don't know, we seemed slow, we seemed narrow, we weren't stretching the play, we weren't getting the ball out wide, we just sort of seemed to be compact, and the amount of times that the ball went sideways and back and whatever. Look, we know we have a slower build up, or more of a calculated build up, shall we say.
Yes.
But I think second half with Rashford coming on, he stretched the play straight away. He loves playing down the left, he's hugging that touchline. Whereas Ramsey, I think, tends to come in. He wants to cut in more. He won't tear down the wing. And I think with Rashford coming on, it stretched the play. Chelsea, it caused them problems, and all of a sudden it opened it up. And for your players like Asensio and Rodgers up until he got injured, there seemed to be more space then in the middle. Chelsea sort of seemed to move over and follow Rashford. And I thought it was. Deserved the win? I don't know, probably, maybe, but I think after Wednesday night, I mean, I was there Wednesday and it was hell of a game, and probably that was a fair result. But I think today, to come off the back of that, look, if you put down, you take 4 points off playing Liverpool and Chelsea, you're going to take it, aren't you? You know what I mean? Especially off Liverpool, the way they're playing. But looking at the table now, I know City have got a couple of games in hand and the teams above, we're only 2 points off fourth now. Which in my mind,
we've played 2 more games than Forest and Newcastle, I think it is. Yeah, we played 2 more games than Forest, Newcastle, and City. But still better have the points and be looking at them than have the games in hand to be wondering where they're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, is it Bournemouth? Not Bournemouth. Sorry, Forest play tomorrow. City, Liverpool tomorrow as well. So look, hopefully Liverpool, but we'll go on to win that, because focusing on Villa now. But it's definitely, we needed that win. We need that win. It was crazy that I think that was our first home win in the league anyway since Leicester on January the 4th, which surprised me when I looked at that, because we've had a few draws. But
it surprised me that we had 2 draws the last 2 draws were our last 5 games in the league, and that surprised me. I thought we had a win in there, but obviously we've got Celtic and we've got Spurs in the cup and stuff. So the mind does play tricks. It definitely does. But you're right. We can start to look up the league again. It's still concertina. Any team down as far as probably if Brentford might go on a run at 37 points, it would be difficult for them. But any team definitely down to 10th and Fulham will be looking at an opportunity of European football. And as I said in the podcast we did last night, I'm just looking at the league table here now. We still have teams left to play this year. We still have Arsenal left to play this year. We've Forest left to play this year. Do we have Arsenal? I think we do. Yeah,
we played Arsenal now, haven't we? Yeah, we've played Arsenal.
We've Bournemouth, we've a lot of teams in and around us that you can take points from them and they become 6-pointers, as I said. So when you say, you have to get to, I think there's a lot of people doing the maths and saying, you have to get 62 points to get Champions League. Yes, you do if you look at it in a silo. But I suppose the fact that we can spoil a lot of other teams' parties, and they can spoil our party as well. It may dilute it down to maybe below the 60-point mark to get into Europe, and us on 42 points at the moment. I would imagine it will be close to 58, 59, 60 points. But hey, look, we've got a hell of a ride ahead of ourselves now, and we've got the Champions League. We've got next Friday against Cardiff, and we've also got next Tuesday against Palace. Jesus,
it's thick and fast, isn't it?
It's thick
really
and fast. It's thick and fast. Everyone here is just roaring at me to discuss the Bogart penalty. It's a fucking penalty all day long. Excuse my language, but it really is. I put up a tweet. VAR are blind.
Unbelievable.
We don't have Paddy. But my goodness, 2 arms from behind, literally putting his weight on him to drag him down. It's a penalty.
And if you watch Cucurella, he is not even bothered about the ball.
He's the worst defender in the league.
Not a fan at all. And you can see he's literally got both arm. He's not looking at the ball. He's not looking at anything else, and he's just pulled him down. And for VAR not to even take a longer look. I mean, I know there was one earlier in the day, Everton, Man United, Ashley Young. A bit of a Ashley Young probably dived a bit, but similar. That didn't get given. And then today, for this one tonight, but honestly, when I watched that, I was absolutely fuming that wasn't given. Couldn't believe it.
I can't, that is a specific situation whereby the referee mightn't have been able to pick it up, and VAR goes, look at this is like he's just manhandled him out,
Yeah.
not even out of the way because he never got around him, just pulled him down. And the ball was in the vicinity. It's not like it was a cross that fizzed across. The ball was in the vicinity at the time that he did it.
Yeah.
For me, you go to the monitor, like, even if it's just pageantry and the referee says, look, I don't see enough in that.
Yeah.
I'd be sitting here and I'd be going, okay, look, we have a difference of opinion here, myself and the referee. But what I'm saying, like at this moment in time, I'm saying they are blind. If they think that there's nothing to look into in that incident, well, then what are we playing at? It's completely different from a corner. I know people say, oh, that happens at corners all the time. Completely different. The game is snapped. The game is, the ball is not in play. The ball was in play here in this instance when it happened. And it was just dragged back. And to me, that's nonsense. It's nonsense. And it should
completely agree. Completely agree with you, mate. It was just, that's what VAR is supposed to be there for, to pick up these things. Actually, if the ref can't see it right, or the liner, the assistant referee can't get a good angle, whatever, that is where VAR should be stepping in and say, actually, yes. Or do you know what, ref, go and have a look at it. You were there at that moment, and actually this is what happened. And yeah, it's decisions like that that drive you mad with VAR. It's just, you think, what is the point? Honestly, what is the point? And and again, I think when that didn't go our way, I was thinking, okay, well, is this going to fizzle out for a bit of a draw now? And I'm still going back to it. I'm just buzzing for Asensio and Rashford that we got that win. And Kukurea can be quiet now.
Exactly. I'm not his biggest fan. I never have been since he's come into the league. It's just, he's not my cup of tea. He's not my type of player. And he'll have some good games, and he was great for Spain in the most recent international competition. But I think on the balance of powers for him, I would not like to see him in a Villa shirt. I just don't trust him. I wouldn't trust him as far as I throw him from a defensive point of view, and we've enough of those guys already as it is. One person we can say that we can trust with our absolute lives is Ezri Konsa, and Dennis White mentions here Konsa's goal clearance needs a mention. How he tracked back to anticipate was sublime. It's the reason why he needs to play centre back every single game that he possibly can. The man's just very, very good defender. What did you make of his overall contribution, Jay?
I thought, if I'm honest, when I saw the team before the game, I was pleased. I thought, do you know what? Cash, Konsa, Mings, Martinez, and then Mats at left back. I thought, actually, this is our there's a case for Torres, of course, but I thought, great, we've actually got defenders in the right positions now, which hasn't, there's been a bit of a rarity. I thought we were a bit shaky, if I'm honest. I thought Konsa was a little bit, I know he's been out for a bit, and that's probably why, that little bit of sort of mental sharpness and physical sharpness. But here again, he grew into the game so much, and especially the second half. Again, he's just a Rolls Royce player. Even winning that foul off Enzo right at the end, you could see he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? The ball's come in, and he leaves it just for that last second and does it. But yeah, look, I'm a massive Konsa fan. I think we all are. I thought Mings had an okay game. Perhaps not his best, if I'm honest. And I think, his obviously knee is a big concern, a massive concern. And I'll be honest, Neil, there's a part of me that thinks he's almost doing a bit of a James Chester, in a sense of, you can see he's playing through this. You know what I mean? He loves Villa. He absolutely loves Villa. He's been a servant for us for 6 years now. 5-6 years. And, he's clearly in a lot of pain, but he's putting his body on the line. Within the first 2 minutes, he's blocked the shot. And then a couple of minutes later, he's got his foot in there to clear the ball. And a couple of brilliant pieces of play from him. But you can see he's struggling. And I think for the squad, the sooner Torres can come back as well to take that pressure off, so we can alternate if we need to. I think that'll be should be hopefully put us in an even stronger position.
I think so, for sure. And to talk about, I suppose, the other two changes in that backline, let's mention it as well. And look, I think it's fair to say that, and I've no problem saying it. Look, Ian Matson needs to get a small bit more nous, and like, he's got all the pace in the world, but whatever happens, he seems to get so flat-footed when he gets stood up like that, specifically when he's further up the field, that Neto blows past him and he can't get back to defend the cross. Same thing happened against this Ipswich, got flat-footed, and like, it's no point, like, when you get turned, you're 4 or 5 steps behind, and There ain't much pace that's going to get you to catch up in that short space of time. So something he's got to work on, because you can talk about Konsa not maybe moving forward onto Enzo, and then maybe Cash not moving forward onto Nkuku. I actually think Alan Smith, was it Alan Smith or was it Jamie Redknapp? One of the two of them. I think they actually nailed the sequence of events that there should have been more communication there as well. The Konsa probably should have moved up and Cash should have moved as well. Yeah. But for me, where the attack came from, and let's not take anything away from Neto, he's got afterburners too.
Yeah,
Mattson needs to be a bit cuter there, because it's 2 weeks, it's twice in 2 weeks where that's happened to him. Yeah. And you know, it's going to continue to happen in the Premier League, because it's a staple of Premier League defending. He needs to get a small bit better at that. I thought, though, I will say, I thought he was pretty good, pretty okay for a lot of the rest of the game. Like, they were going to attack him. They attacked him at will, and that's fine. But he didn't give up any massively easy chances for the rest of the game. And I think we have to applaud that too. And going forward, he was pretty okay. But that's not to say that I don't want Luca Dean back in there on Tuesday night against Palace to be a steadying force in that back line. What do you make of it, Jay? And Mattson?
I completely agree with everything you said, Neil. There, mate. I think it was a soft goal to give away. They definitely targeted him. You know, the way they were switching the ball as well. Everything was coming down that side in the first half, especially. And yeah, I think his defensive sort of, I don't know, he's better. He's better with the ball attacking, and he's got that pace, like you say. But yeah, it did concern me. Second half, and I think when Rashford came on, I think it definitely did improve down that side. You know what I mean? And there was much less. There seemed to be much less play. Yeah, the goal, going back to the goal, it was soft. I think Mattson should have done better. Martinez probably should have done better. Maybe Konsa, but yeah. On Mattson, like I say, he's just been a bit hit and miss this season, hasn't he? I think personally, I've probably preferred him coming on as more of an impact player. When the fullbacks are a bit tired, and he has got that pace to get round and push on. But look, I am a Luca Dean fan. I think Luca Dean's had a terrific season. I thought he had a great season last year, and I'm surprised he didn't come on. I think he was on the bench. But look, hopefully that sort of keeps him fresher for Tuesday/Friday next week as well.
I think so, exactly. And I think that's when you're managing the minutes of a 32-year-old, as I said in the TG tantrum before. And look, Mings went off. We'll talk about Cash first, but we'll talk about Cash in a moment. But Mings went off with what looks like a little bit of a niggle. Yeah. To be honest, I think they took him off. I think they took him off. I hope they took him off precautionary, because look, he was hobbling the last game as well, and hobbling this game. They're going to have Disasi back against Palace. I think this is going to be our. So if it is Disasi and Konsa, it's either our eighth different centre half partnership in 8 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's bonkers.
It's absolutely crazy. It is
bonkers.
Honestly, it's wild.
But I think that when Bogart came on, I think he played well. Look, he's not a conventional defender back there. He's not a conventional centre half. But you have to, I will never. There's a difference between over the course of the last year or whatever, where I've maybe said, look, Diego Carlos, not feeling him, and I'm not sure he's up to the standard of Aston Villa. He's a better centre half, obviously, than Bogart, but his job is to be a centre half. I've said about Bailey as well. Look, Bailey needs to get his head up off the ground, or else get it out of his arse, one or the other, and start playing. And then, we said about Mattson there, he needs to learn how to defend. They're specialists in their position. Bogart, I'm not expecting him to be Baresi when he goes back there. I'm not expecting him to be Paul McGrath when he goes back there. But what I have to respect is the fact that he has the mental fortitude to put his hand up and say, you want me to play defensive midfielder? I'll play there. You want me to play centre half? I'll play there. You want me to play right back? I'll play there, because I want to play in the Premier League, and I want to play for this football team, and I want to become a better player. And I think he did okay today. He played 20 odd minutes, 20.
Yes, I think
it's directly after the goal, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think in the 60s, wasn't it? I agree, and I thought there was talk at the start of the season, wasn't there, about him going either leaving or going on loan, and Emery way to keep him. And I think, like you say, I think he started the season at right back, and then at centre back, and then defensive centre midfielder. Today he was left side of the centre back. That tackle he did on, was it Enzo or Neto? I can't remember, where he cut across and left and absolutely clattered him, cleared the ball, into the Doug Ellis stand. I thought brilliant. And Yeah, I think I said the other week. There are some similarities I do see with him. How Conser plays in that sort of calmness and assured, socks pulled up over his knees. Do you know what I mean? That sort of I guess calmness is probably the right word. But yeah, no, absolutely. I thought he came on and he did a solid job. And yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased he's in and around the squad. He's like almost the old-fashioned utility player, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He can do a job for you wherever you put him.
Exactly. And look, he may drop a Rick over the next couple of weeks, but this is what I'm saying is that sometimes, like I've harped on about Maatsen today. That doesn't mean I think Maatsen's a bad player. It's just like every player. I could say the same about John McGinn. I could say the same about there was a couple of David Tielemans that I would have had. I would have had there were things I could have pointed out to Tielemans. I could say, all right, you need to stop doing this against teams when they're playing with that extra midfielder, because it's something that I saw against Ipswich, even though he was really good against Ipswich. It's something that I've seen when we play against Tree. He tends to kind of not run down a blind alley, but sometimes he tends to stifle that the triangles we I have to hit my microphone. The triangles we play in midfield sometimes, and that's fine. It doesn't take away from the fact he's a brilliant player. But with Bogart, he might drop a Rick in the next couple of games. But I'm expecting him to learn. And the way Unai Emery is dealt with the Garcia mistake he made, the way that Ollie Watkins has come out and spoken highly of him, Asensio gave him high praise today before the game as well. Garcia, that's what these young players are. That's what good seasoned pros. They understand that these young players are not fully fledged. They understand that they're probably running an awful lot on their youthful athleticism. They know maybe about 40% of what they will know over their careers, and they understand that they're going to drop bricks. But the big thing is the arm needs to come around the shoulder and make sure that they don't do it again, and make sure that they feel part of this team as well. And
you can see absolutely the camaraderie. Even on Wednesday night when Garcia made that mistake and he came off for Cash, everybody got a massive round of applause for everyone, because look, he made a mistake. It does happen. Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying, they're young players, that it's going to happen. And like I say, I think that because of the characters that you've got in that team, there is this camaraderie. Asensio, when he went through and then ended up on the deck, straight over Tielemans up to him, mate, brilliant, great, keep going. And I think that's something that is big for us and can, have that real team effect, you know what I mean, to keep pushing each other, keep supporting each other.
Absolutely. And as Duncan says here, now, the context to this is we keep going down 1-0 in the first 10 minutes, but still, Aston Villa have now won 18 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season. That's more than any other team. And we did that last year as well. We were winning games or drawing games from losing positions. But the converse of what we had last year and what we have this year is we weren't dropping points when we went ahead, whereas this year we have dropped points when we go ahead. And look, that's all part of the transitional nature of this team, because we still are in transition. Since January, we've overhauled our striking department. Last year, arguably in the summer, we overhauled our central midfield positions, albeit they've nearly always been injured this year. And then, I think we've made a couple of additions. Obviously, Pau Torres been injured. We've got a new left back in Maatsen. We've got a new right back in Garcia. There still is tweaking of that back line to be done, and I think that's probably where we will look to in the summer if we can't get obviously if we can't get those two boys to stay that are up top. That's where we would look at. So that's a really interesting stat as well, Duncan. And any more stats fire them out there, because you know me, I love stats. Absolutely love stats.
It's quite funny actually saying that. I've got my season ticket in the Holt end. My mate we were there at the Ipswich game last Saturday, and he said, so I might just not watch the first half of games from now on. You know what I mean? I might not bother. Fortunately, he did on Wednesday, and we did all right. But I was thinking that earlier today when it was we were sort of 1-0 down at the break, and it's I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't even say it kickstarts us. You know what I mean? I think some teams, they do go down and it wakes them up and they think, okay, better start playing. I think with Emery and our style of play, we tend to keep that level, don't we? That consistency, that style. Okay, at times the build-up maybe could be a little bit, I don't know, we could move the ball quicker. But look, what do I know? What do I know? we got
I've often said,
world class manager.
not yet, anyway, Jay. You will be soon. You will be soon. I tell you, you're gonna manage the Isle of Wight, and there's gonna be an islands tournament all around the UK and Ireland. Hey, I'll go out to the Aran Islands. I'll manage the Aran Islands team, and we'll get an islands tournament, and you can prove your world class manager credentials.
Sounds good, mate. Give it a go. There's the Island Games actually, which not to go off topic, but yeah, we got a team in there. We haven't got a team in there this year, unfortunately, but oh, mate, yeah. Look, I think we are just so lucky, aren't we, to have Emery as our gaffer. And I just want to, I haven't really mentioned McGinn. I just want to mention him very quickly, if that's all right. I thought Wednesday was super, and I thought today was brilliant as well. Honestly, captain's performance, that tenacity, and he, again, whatever you throw at McGinn, he just comes back, doesn't he? He's like a boomerang. You throw him and you think, he comes back and he's in there. He's giving a bit of bite. He's giving it some with I can't remember their player that got booked. I was really encouraged by him, and he's playing that deeper role. The last few games, because of your injuries to Anana and Barkley and Kamara. I've been really impressed with McGinn, how he's been playing and leading. Being a captain, it's brilliant.
This is it. It's absolutely, you said it there, leading and being a captain. Some of you guys may have seen his TNT Sports interview with Alan Hutton, and I love the fact that John McGinn has obviously been media trained, and he's obviously sat inside in that room and sat in his hands and laughed the whole way through the media training. I went, okay, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to say anything stupid, but I'm going to be me, and everyone's going to love me, because he's a charismatic little sort. And but he said it. But when he sat down with Alan Hutton there, you could see the familiarity that the two guys had. They were very familiar with each other, and he kind of, I won't say he opened up a bit, but he didn't really say anything we didn't know, but it was the way he said it, I thought, was kind of very candid, in the fact he said, look, I had to change the way I was playing, because, when Unai Emery came in here, I wasn't up to the level of player that he needed, and I needed to change. And you can see, again, like I spoke about Lamar Bogart, the same thing probably happens to you when you're a guts and glory player and you're hit 30, 31. You need to justify your position in the team, because there's going to be someone out there that's going to be fitter than you, that's going to be more durable than you, and so on. And maybe not for John McGinn, because that's some of his strengths. But the fact that you say there that, he's playing a bit more deeper, he's played wide right this season, he's played in the 10, he's played wide left. Feck it, when Unai Emery came in, he played right back at times, It's being willing. And number one, when you've got the armband on, it's a case of, right, lads, we're stuck. And he goes, no, we're not, because I'll play there, and I'll give you 7 out of 10. And look, you can't buy that stuff. Man United don't have, that's one of the biggest issues with teams like Man United at the moment. They don't have somebody who's willing to go, right, I know how to play the game of football. Give me 4 or 5 days, and I'll give you a very average right back play, but throw me in there and I'll play, and I can guarantee you they might skip past me because they're a better player than me, or I don't know what I'm doing, but they will not out effort me. And that's what John McGinn gives you. And what better attribute to having a captain than that. And I have to say, I was really impressed with him as well. And the big conversation will be, if Kamara is fit in a week's time, what's going to happen with John McGinn? And you know what happens with John McGinn? If he starts in the bench, he's going to come on, he's going to give you a bazillion %. He's still going to be his same effervescent self. So we just have to cherish him. He's
definitely. I mean, what's he been with us now? 6 years? Yeah, it's 6 years, I think, as well, isn't it? That sort of 18-19 season, I think it was. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And mate, I thought he was superb. And look, I think players like him allow other players to express themselves, i.e. Rodgers and Asensio, you know what I mean? Just sort of be able to express that freedom, drive forward with the ball, and create the pockets of space, playing the gaps between their defence and their midfield, and look to spray it wide. I thought Bailey did all right when he come on. I think it's, apart from just that final pass a couple of times, but he skinned Kukurea, which, again, going back to earlier, I love to see it. And I think, look, hopefully Bailey's performances again will rise. When you've got Rashford there and Asensio and Marlin and Watkins, what a unbelievable 5-6 players at least that we have got in that attacking third. Oh, it's outrageous, isn't it? It really is. And Yeah, look, I'm excited. It's a great win tonight. It really is.
Mhm. And I think, and you know what, even going back to John McGinn, I think when everybody's fit, Mallon's going to be the replacement for maybe Watkins. And
Yeah,
then, you've got McGinn that will come in there. Asensio will play probably right. McGinn probably play at 10. You've got
yeah,
Bailey who can play right. You've got JJ. So you still have
yeah,
that rotation of three behind Ollie Watkins, and you have Mallon then to come in for Watkins. So we're seriously stacked up top. And yes, I know they're lone players or whatever, but look, I'm only focused on Saturday the 22nd of February until the
yeah,
end of May. And that's what I'm focused on at the moment
yeah,
because, look, obviously there's PSR stuff and everything like that. No one knows where we stand with all that. So we'll figure all that out in the transfer market, and that's why I love
yeah,
it. Um,
yeah.
I want to come on to something there very quickly. Anne O'Grady, the wonderful Anne O'Grady, the absolutely wonderful. Anne always keeps me up to date with what, because when we come on straight afterwards, I never get to watch Unai's interviews afterwards, and I have to watch them. I watch them.
Yeah.
So Anne usually keeps me up to date. And so Anne was saying that Unai was being thorny in the interview, and I love when Unai gets thorny. He said the interview started with, "If you had lost to Chelsea, you would have been 6 points. They would have been 6 point aheads." And Unai said, "You're starting to interview me with if." I love that.
Oh,
I love that.
yeah, brilliant, Unai. But honestly, not to go off on a tangent here because you can have me all day, but some of the interviews and questions that
Yeah.
you see are just on it drives me mad. Honestly, I just think that fair play, credit to Unai for answering it like that because yeah, some of them are just ridiculous, aren't they? And you can tell that it's that whatever you think, there is that London bias. There always has been,
Yeah.
and the probably always will be. And it's Chelsea tonight. That's all it was about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love Unai, so I'll make sure I'll go and watch that interview in a bit.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to see this as well. So Anne says when he was answering and was being interrupted, he just said, "Can you let me finish and explain?" And he was dead right. I love a fired up Unai Emery, because you can
Yeah,
imagine he was inside in the dressing room telling everybody, telling them all, "This is the game we needed. We are back in this fight." He was giving it full on any given
yeah,
Sunday inside in the speech in his best Basque accent inside in the dressing room there, and he came out full of piss and vinegar, and he gave both barrels to the interviewer, and more power to him. I just want to say thanks as well, the Villa Park podcast. Thanks to Rich and all the guys there as well, Rich and Martin and Kevin, all the guys. There's so many of them there as well. It's great to see. Look, as I said, the great thing about Aston Villa podcast world, if you want to call it, is there's no bricks. Like, I know I'm doing a lot of swearing on this podcast. I haven't been drinking. I'm just so full of energy after this, but all the podcasts are sound. They're all really
yeah.
nice, and they all get on. And so thanks a million, guys, for watching the podcast, and everyone else, go catch the Villa Park podcast when their podcast is on as well, because they are great guys as well, Rich and the boys there as well. I'm not going to say I'm running out of things to say, but I'm running out of coherent things to say.
Yeah,
Because I say I'm pretty fired up after that. There's nothing better than, getting an 89th minute winner
yeah.
in a 6-pointer game like that is today. But do you feel that, I suppose, do you feel that maybe the fact that the Crystal Palace is coming up in 3 days' time, do you feel that is a momentum? Can the adrenaline of an 89th minute winner follow you through into a game? Are you a believer in that? Because I know myself and
I
Paddy have had conversations off camera about this before, but I'd be interested in yourself.
I think there's two aspects to it. I think, look, you want to take a winning momentum into the next game. Of course you do. Off that beating Chelsea at home, great confidence. I think that's the biggest thing. It gives you that confidence that we can go and beat anyone. We can go away and get a result. I think the only danger of it is that probably we've seen in some of the Champions League games is almost that emotion that actually it takes a lot out of it. You could tell today it was again, a physical picture that the lads work so hard. The work rate's amazing. And I think as long as we don't, I don't know, there's not sort of that too much emotion that's in there that we take into Tuesday, and all of a sudden it's a shock to the system if we go 1-0 down. I mean, look, we're used to it now, let's be honest. But yeah, I think I definitely think look, I'd much rather be going into the game on the back of a win than a draw. But like I say, I think hopefully there's not a hangover as such from a late night winner on a Saturday into Tuesday. I mean, it's only Tuesday. We've got two rest days and we're playing again. It's it's pretty wild, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah. absolutely. And look, Crystal Palace coming off. Look, this won't turn into a Crystal Palace preview or anything like that. But Crystal Palace coming off a 2-0 win against Fulham away at Fulham.
Yeah.
Can that really be classified as an away game? How because they're not exactly a million miles away from each other in London. So
No.
I don't know. Is it really an away game?
Yeah, a funny team, isn't they? A funny team, but yeah, I'd love it. I don't think we've done very well there, have we, in recent times? Correct me if I'm wrong there.
I don't think we've won in Selhurst Park in God knows how long. I remember that stat doing the rounds, but I can't remember us winning in the last 2 or 3 years there. Anyway, so that they are a bogey team, but we haven't had Marcus Rashford and Marcus Asensio.
Exactly that. Exactly that. It just my wife was watching the game with me, and she's when Asensio's on the ball and Rashford, she's going, "Go on, Rashy, go on," and all this, and she's Rash. I think I said it the other day. Rashford gets you off your seat. When we was there on Wednesday, every time he gets the ball, you don't know if he's going to go left or right, and I love the fact that he's buzzing to be there. The fans are loving it. We have got what was a world-class player, who was a world-class player, and look, I think if he carries on the way he is a terrific player, and I'm just so pleased we have him, and Asensio, of course. It's just brilliant for us as fans to be able to see those players, and like you say, even bringing them on, is an impact today. Rashford started Wednesday, you come on tonight, half time, and just showed that defenders are scared. It's a big name, you know what I mean? And it's quite funny now, you see sort of Jadon Sancho on the other bench, and then Rashford for us, you sort of, looking at the two, and the sort of the ex-Man United, I say ex, but Man United boys, and I'd like to think we got the better deal on that one. I'd like to think.
Well, Sancho's been there for the season, and if you just take Premier League appearances, I suppose we'll see at the end of the year.
Yeah,
see at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got 2 assists anyway today, Rashford. So he's up and running from that point of view, and long may that continue. That continue as well. My voice is still knackered, absolutely gone. So I'm going to start to shut up in a moment to maybe wrap this one up to try and it's getting there. It's getting there. Only 3 weeks since I lost it, but it's mad. I've spoken to about 4 other people that have had this really long kind of lingering kind of cold and sore throat that turned into kind of a laryngitis, and they're all in the same boat. So whatever's going at the moment, please don't catch it, because it's not nice being able to talk.
No, it's not at all,
podcast. It's not nice being able to talk.
This is it.
But yeah, I think today. Look, who would your man of the match have been today, Jay? I suppose it has to be Marco Asensio, but take over 90 minutes. Is there any other mentions you would give?
I think, like you say, I think Asensio for the 2 goals. I think he deserves it, of course, getting in the right positions. And look, let's be honest, that our second goal, it was a little bit lucky. We probably haven't mentioned that yet, but the keeper has fumbled it. But look, we drew a bit of luck. It's about time, we deserve it, I think. But yeah, going back to man of the match, I think a tricky one, if I'm honest. Possibly McGinn. I think that's probably where I'd go if it wasn't Asensio, to be honest. But yeah, I think the work rate, especially in that second half tonight, and look, it's that character. What I do like, nearly, I don't like us going behind, but what I do like is the fact that we don't panic, and the fact that if we do go behind, the game isn't over. We've got players who believe that we can get back in and get a point or get 3 points, and look, we did it tonight, and got the 3 points. So yeah, overall, mate, I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased today.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what, I'm going to give an honourable mention to Unai Emery, and the reason being for this, and I didn't touch on it because I want to watch the game back again, but I have a sneaking suspicion there was a tactical change in that second half as well. When Rashford came on, there was a tactical change there as well, whereby Morgan Rogers started doing Trojan work, tracking back on the other side and coming into the centre and tracking back into midfield and funneling midfield. So they couldn't get those diagonal balls across to get at Malin or at Maatsen. And I want to watch it back again to see exactly what he did. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Unai Emery has made a change there, specifically in what Rogers did and it did in coming back into midfield, because it seemed that we were able to, be kind of, I won't say we had their number, but we kind of had their number at times with regards to the diagonal balls, and we forced them to go straighter in their attack. And yes, they had a couple of chances, like Cole Palmer should have scored, but he didn't, obviously, because the two boys were there, Emi and Kanza. But I think on the balance of play, whatever tweak was made, and that specific tweak with Morgan Rogers, I think, is the reason why we won 2-1, is one of the reasons why we won 2-1 today. So I'm going to give an honourable mention to the man of match to Unai Emery as well. As well.
I agree with you on that, mate. Absolutely. Genius manager.
Genius manager. No one can say otherwise on this podcast.
I want to hear anything else.
What hear anything else is right. Anyway, lads, you know, the best thing about winning on a Saturday night and the game being on at 5:30 is it's still only 8:20, and we can enjoy the rest of our night, and we can enjoy tomorrow as well. So I'm going to leave it at that. As I say, Paddy, we'll probably do a preview tomorrow with Paddy, and we'll get his thoughts on the game there as well. I know a lot of people are looking for his thoughts on VAR and the referee, so stay tuned for that tomorrow. Jay, thank you so much for popping in again here today. This is your third or fourth time being on the podcast. You're going to be on many, many more times as well. I love chatting with you, Jay. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, go follow Jay at Jay what? It's at Jay what?
It's Jay
White _1.
That's it. Yeah. No, Neil, thanks again, mate. Like I say, love coming on the pod. You know, you Paddy and yourself, you know, classes good mates of mine, and always a pleasure, and nice to sort of give the Isle of Wight a mention as well when I'm on here, mate, representing.
I know, exactly. I know you'd like that. I knew you'd like that. And everybody who's in here as well, there's 800 people here directly after the game. Lots of familiar faces. I know I don't call you guys out by name, but like Rachel, I'd say Rachel, I could count how many hands you've missed. How many on one hand, sorry, how many times you've missed a podcast. You just yourself, Duncan. There's loads of people in there, tons and tons of people in there as well. Thank you so much to everybody for always watching and for always listening and for always being so kind in your words as well. And always giving great engagement and great thoughts, great comments in there that make us think and make us kind of make for good conversation, I suppose, in the podcast as well. So thanks very much to everybody for that as well. We will be back probably tomorrow with another podcast with a preview for Crystal Palace. But go away and enjoy your Saturday night. It's been a fantastic win, 89th minute winner. And what more can I say other than stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa. Cheers, Neil. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers, guys.
Adios, everyone. Bye-bye.